funny, beautiful, strange thing about yellow and turquoise, I think, are that they're not really cognitive structures in the sense that really amber, well actually red, amber, orange, and blue were. Those four structures, I believe, were working within the realm of the third focus, or sort of objectivity. Red for sort of being focused on the self, amber on the culture, society, thinking an absolute structure of mind, and then orange being focused on object outside one's mind and manipulating that, and then green is a struggle to what's higher in the sense that it doesn't have the tools to deal with the holistic framework, but it's trying to the best it can. So it comes up with these fragmented, flatland holism that doesn't really have integrated the perspectives very well. So it kind of has these regressive tendencies or category errors, or absolutizing some things. With yellow, turquoise, and coral, the second tier, what I'm considering sort of the soul stages, or the building of the soul, that is the building of the mind of the soul. We're going to see, I think, again, something similar to what beige and purple were doing, that are sort of outside of the domain of the primary focus. The primary focus of the fourth system will be of the soul, but you first need to make it. Similarly, in that way, I think beige and purple were sort of building the neocortex, which allowed for objectification. With yellow, turquoise, and coral, and we're adding a stage here because we've already objectified objectivity. With coral, there's going to be the expression of that, and so we're in a sense reliving the instinctual, the emotive, and the cognitive drives within our being now at a higher order, so that we can integrate them and build the new brain from them. Much in the way that AI isn't going to be just a flatland technology, which is the same confusion that green falls into, mistaking all systems as just cognition. Rather, there's this broad spectrum of perspectives. We're going to find with these stages, yellow, turquoise, and coral, the reintegration of these perspectives within a context of integral whole. So what I think is going to be really interesting about this is that it seems to be about the intermind. That's why I consider this the soul, in that the third focus, the first tier, is really about an individuated body mind that's making things objects, whereas this one's going to be a collective of minds, interobjectively looking at systems. So it can solve things like species extinction on a planetary level, properly permacultural living, dealing with elitist structures, banking and financial superstructures, etc. But the first reintegration in yellow is going to be a fling back on beige, but now in an intermind sense of survival in some regards, but within a new context of more emotive capacities, because there's going to be a reflection on the emotional side of it if it's if it does match up with the quadrant theory. And then when we get to turquoise, there's kind of this emotive soul thing, which is even more in the kind of we space, and that will what I think is also going to happen on the individual level is that this stuff will now be cognized into a pattern that transcends this particular body-man life. So we're going to actually get these structures carried over from lifetime to lifetime, so that there will be a lot of physiological patternings between lifetimes. So like maybe David Wilcox was actually a yellow thinker in his previous life. That's why he kind of looks like Edgar Cayce, perhaps. That would make sense from a yellow cognitive structure, in that he's stabilized it enough to reinvigorate that. Aurobindo speculates on similar things. But what I think with turquoise, you're actually you as an individual are strengthening the morphogenetic patterns of emotion, and so those sort of emotional or astral energies will be carried forth from lifetime to lifetime. And then when you get to cognition, this is a whole map system where the mind itself as object is made object, so that you can kind of use that as a tool from lifetime to lifetime without kind of forgetting it. Now the New Agers talk about this a lot, and I kind of think it's typically ridiculous. There might be glimpses of these things, but they're not stabilized. At least so maybe only a handful of people have. And so with Coral, I think we're going to get like a whole pattern framework where you have a vision of how all things sort of fit together in a fairly real context. Now, I don't really believe that there's been, maybe, other than a few Parnairs, and we're just fleshing out the territory very, very slowly in this area. But there's obviously more of this emotional system within turquoise that's now being laid down that kind of has a residue within the individual that doesn't really leave. It's kind of ever present in that sense. So that's what I see sort of happening here.